All right, let's talk about willpower. We're diving into some really cool research today that kind of flips the whole idea of motivation on its head. We always think it's all about celebrating our wins, right? Well, what if I told you the real secret sauce is actually hidden in the temptations we manage to avoid, all those roads not taken? It sounds a little weird, I know, but let's get into how this actually works.
So we've all been there, right? You get super excited, you set a new goal, maybe it's eating healthier, hitting the gym, saving more money, and you start off on fire. But then reality hits. And keeping that momentum going day after day feels like this constant uphill battle. Every little choice is another test, and honestly, it's just plain exhausting. But what if we've been fighting that battle all wrong? Okay, so imagine this scenario. This is straight from the study we're looking at. Your goal is to eat healthier. It's snack time and you make a great choice, a green apple. Awesome, high five. But then dinner comes around and now you're staring down a new choice, a healthy salad or that crispy fried chicken. Does that good choice you made earlier with the apple make this one any easier? Not really. It feels like the fight just completely resets. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. The researchers behind this, Ha-Young Kim and Oleg Erminsky, they figured out that the real power of that first good choice, choosing the apple, doesn't really come from the success itself. It comes from how you frame the things you said no to. Get this, the secret isn't that you resisted, it's what you resisted. So let's play this out. Let's say you picked that apple over a whole tray of different cookies. In your head, you basically resisted one category of thing. Cookies. It feels like one single act of self-control. I mean, it's good, but it's not life-changing. You just said no to a cookie. But what if you chose that exact same apple over a chocolate chip cookie, a glazed donut, and a bag of salty crisps? See, the choice you made is identical. You still ate the apple. But psychologically, it feels totally different. Now it's not just I resisted cookies. It's I resisted a sugary baked good, a fried dessert, and a salty snack. Suddenly, it feels like you've conquered multiple, very different kinds of temptations. And that feeling, that little psychological superpower, actually has a name. It's called the foregone alternative diversity effect. The researchers discovered that when we stop and think about the diverse set of things we turn down, it genuinely makes us stronger and more motivated for the next choice. It's a crazy powerful mental hack. So how on earth does it work? Well, the magic happens in what the researchers call the sacrifice impact motivation chain. It sounds complicated, but it's actually a super simple and logical chain reaction. Let's break it down real quick. Okay, so here's how it goes. Step 1, when you say no to a bunch of different kinds of things, it feels like a bigger sacrifice, right? You didn't just give up one thing, you gave up a whole buffet of enjoyable stuff. Then, that bigger feeling of sacrifice makes your healthy choice feel like it had a much more significant impact on your goal. It wasn't just a tiny step, it was a huge leap forward. And that feeling of making a real impact is what boosts your motivation for whatever comes next. You feel like your hard work really mattered, so you're way more likely to do it again. Now, look, this all sounds great in a lab, but does it actually hold up in the real world? Well, you're gonna love this. The researchers put it to the test with a super clever study right inside a university gym. They literally went up to 210 people right after they finished a workout, while they were still sweaty and tired. So these are people who just made a real-world choice to stick to their goal. They chose to exercise instead of, doing anything else with their time. So they split these gym goers into two groups. They asked the first group to think about all the similar things they could have done instead of exercising. The other group had to think about all the diverse things they skipped. Then, as a thank you, everyone was offered a free snack bar. One healthy, one not so healthy. And the results? They were absolutely stunning. In the group that thought about similar alternatives, only 39% picked the healthy bar. But in the group that was primed to think about their diverse sacrifice, a whopping 64% chose the healthy option. Just let that sink in for a second. Nothing about their actual workout was different. The only thing that changed was a simple prompt about how they thought about the things they didn't do. And that simple mental reframing made a massive difference in the very next choice they made. It's incredible. But, okay, like any cool psychological trick, this isn't magic. It has its limits. And the researchers were pretty clear about a couple of key situations where this effect just kind of fizzles out. First off, this effect is way weaker when you have some kind of hard data on your progress. So if you step on the scale and it tells you you've lost exactly 1 pound, you don't really need to rely on a feeling of impact anymore, right? You've got the cold, hard facts. And second, the motivation boost is pretty specific. Feeling great about resisting a cake doesn't really translate into being more motivated to save money. The boost pretty much stays in its lane. So what's the big takeaway here? What's the payoff for us? How can we actually use this little insight to hack our own willpower and make our goals feel just a little less impossible? It really all boils down to this one simple shift in perspective. The next time you make a good choice, just take an extra second. Don't just celebrate that you ate the salad. Instead, celebrate that you said no to the pizza and the burger and the pasta. To keep that fire going, don't just celebrate your success. Celebrate the variety of failures you avoided. When you frame your sacrifice as big and diverse, you give your motivation a real science-backed turbo boost for the next challenge. So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. The next time you stick to your plan, pause for a moment. Think about all the different things you could have done instead. What diverse roads not taken are you going to celebrate to fire yourself up for tomorrow?